More than 30,000 deaths a year in the US alone. That's more than 2,000 a month. Almost 10 a day. It's tragic. Lives are stolen, families are torn apart, careers ended. The cause? Driving. Driving? You do it every day and you don't have a problem. Did you have a collision today? Probably not. The odds are that you won't today. But depending upon the choices you make, those odds could change in a blink of an eye. We mention choices because that's really what it comes down to. Obeying traffic laws and operating your vehicle safely is a choice. Your bad driving choices can kill, maim, and destroy lives, including your own. One of the good choices you can make is to minimize distractions while driving. In our modern world, there are many distractions that cannot be avoided, but there are many that can. That's what this program is all about. Because statistics show that 80% of all crashes and 65% of near crashes involve some type of distraction. Nearly 6,000 people die annually in crashes involving a distracted or inattentive driver, and more than 500,000 are injured. Driving while distracted, DWD, is an epidemic that rivals DWI for killing on our highways, and it, like drinking while driving, starts with bad choices and risky behavior. 24% of crashes in 2010 involved drivers using cell phones, including 1.1 million crashes where drivers were talking on cell phones, and a minimum of 160,000 crashes where drivers were texting. Drivers who use cell phones, handheld, or Bluetooth are 4 times as likely to get into crashes serious enough to injure themselves. It's a problem. Is it your problem? Distracted while driving, or DWD, is everyone's problem. How important is that call, text, or email? A hands-free policy may seem like a solution, but in reality has little effect. Using a cell phone while driving, whether it's handheld or hands-free, delays a driver's reactions as much as having a blood alcohol concentration at the legal limit of 0.08%. Don't be lulled into the Bluetooth mirage of safety. If it was just about the hands, why would it be safe to drive a stick shift? 43 states have outlawed texting. Some states even have laws against handheld cell phone use while driving. But just because it is not against the law does not make it safe. You know it yourself. When you see someone driving dangerously, what is the first thing you think? Get off the phone. But if cell phone use is permitted in your state and is not prohibited by your company's policies and procedures, here's a few tips to help minimize risk. First, you don't have to answer every call. You can let them go to voicemail. You can retrieve the messages when you have reached your destination or stopped at a safe place. If you need to make or take a call, pull off the road into a parking lot or other safe place away from other drivers. This will allow you to focus completely on the call and not jeopardize the safety of other motorists. This will also increase productivity of your call, as you will be able to focus, take any notes, and reference any documents that may be necessary. Texting. Do we even need to go there? We've all seen it done, or perhaps done it ourselves. I mean, sending that quick text or reading a text or email while driving to your next stop seems harmless enough. What can it hurt? I mean, it only takes a few seconds, right? What could happen in a few seconds? This could. And it did. Was it worth it? Criminal and civil penalties are on the rise for those who text and drive, especially for those involved in crashes. Recent lawsuits have even attempted to punish the person sending the text to the driver involved in the collision. With any serious crash, skilled victims' attorneys will investigate the underlying cause. They will get your cell phone records and find out you were using your phone. you can face jail time, and your company can lose millions. Was that text or email worth it? Some states are electronically capturing the contents of phones after crashes to see if distracted driving was a factor. It's real. It could happen to you, but it doesn't have to. To drive while distracted or not, that is your choice every day. Onboard computer systems, tablets, or laptops can also pose a significant risk to a driver's safety. If you think you can operate a computer while driving and still devote your attention to the road, you are sorely mistaken. The roadway is not a video game, and you and others don't have multiple lives. The use of any type of electronic device requires your attention that must be focused on driving safely. Resist the temptation. Make safe choices. CDs, radios, air conditioning, heater, great modern conveniences that make your ride more enjoyable. But if used improperly, they can be distractions that take your attention off the task at hand, driving, and compromise your safety and the safety of those who share the road with you. Taking your eyes off the road to adjust these devices can be a distraction that puts you in harm's way. Now, you might be saying it only takes a second or two to adjust my radio, but think of it this way. In the 2 seconds spent changing the station on the radio, your vehicle traveled 165 feet. A lot can happen in 165 feet. That's 12 car lengths or half a football field. It's the same thing as closing your eyes for a full 2 seconds while driving. It's not a good idea. The second or two can be the difference between life and death. You decide. You may be very familiar with the controls on your radio, climate control, and mirrors, but it's a good idea to set these items as well as other devices prior to the beginning of your trip. Here's a few tips on how to safely adjust the controls inside your vehicle. If you are traveling on a highway and need to make an adjustment, make sure to have plenty of space between you and the vehicle in front of you. Recommended following distance is a minimum of 4 seconds. To check how much space you have, pick a mark on the road that the vehicle in front of you is heading towards. When the vehicle hits the mark, you begin counting and you keep counting till you have passed the same mark. Add more space for inclement weather, nighttime conditions, construction zones, or other hazards. The more space between you and the vehicle in front of you, the better. Although increasing your following distance will lessen your risk. If you're driving on city or residential streets, you should wait until you are stopped at a traffic signal or stop sign and then make the adjustment to your radio. Speaking of music, how about earbuds? They make it easy to hear your favorite song from your favorite player, but they also make it nearly impossible to hear what's going on around your vehicle, and the music itself is a distraction. Save the earbuds for when you're not driving. Sometimes we forget about what items are inside the vehicle with us. Then as we drive, something shifts, slides, or moves. As you check to see what it is, guess what? Yup, you take your eyes off the road. But how can this be prevented? Easy. Take a moment or two before you leave to make sure everything is secure in the vehicle. It only takes a few seconds and can eliminate a possible distraction. It could be anything: a clipboard, a beverage, a laptop. It's just out of reach, but you can just look down for a second and grab it, right? Of course you can, but that would be a poor choice. Again, anything that takes your eyes off the road, even for a few seconds, can and will put you at risk. What about something on the floorboard on the passenger side? Don't even think about it. Wait until you reach your destination. You'll survive. If you can't wait, pull over safely, retrieve the item, and continue. Many of us feel overworked, like there's not enough hours in the day, so we work behind the wheel. Big mistake. Reading work orders, receipts, laptops, phones, or anything else takes your eyes off the road. Think about it this way. Have a collision and the few minutes of work you squeezed in aren't going to make much difference in comparison. While in your vehicle, driving is your job. Do your job. Do only your job. Eating and driving. What's the big deal? Studies show that 74% of drivers reported eating while driving. Again, anything that takes your eyes off the road, even for a few seconds, can and will put you at risk. You should be familiar with your company's policies and consult your supervisor in regard to eating while behind the wheel of a company vehicle. If your organization does not have a policy on this matter, it should be noted that just like any other distracting behavior, eating while driving can compromise your safety. Remember, when in your vehicle, driving is your job. So we've talked about all the potential distractions inside your vehicle, but what about the potential distractions outside your vehicle? Pedestrians, unfamiliar routes, poor weather, signs, construction, and others. Let's take a look. Pedestrians. Not only do they seemingly appear out of nowhere at times, they're often unpredictable. They may be distracted. Remember, just because you can see them doesn't mean they can see you. That's why you need to be aware of areas pedestrians may be and be prepared. Areas such as parking lots, shopping complexes, schools, or business parks are common areas. But even in areas outside of where you expect them, always yield to pedestrians. When driving in areas with high pedestrian traffic, keep your eyes moving. Survey your surroundings every 2 to 3 seconds. Be aware and expect the unexpected. By reducing distractions, you are better able to focus on the hazards outside your vehicle that you can't control. You can save yourself a lot of unneeded stress and worry by pre-planning your route and thoroughly reviewing maps of your destination prior to your trip. Pre-planning will alleviate most distractions associated with navigation, but no matter how much we prepare or how well we think we know the area, we may still get lost, and trying to find your way can be very distracting. If you're lost, don't try to figure it out on the road. Pull over and find the correct route before continuing. Being lost is bad enough. Being lost and then being in a collision is even worse. But you have a GPS, so you won't get lost, right? Probably so. A GPS is a great tool that allows us to navigate and keep our eyes on the road. But make sure you program your GPS before you start traveling, because trying to input or change information in your GPS while driving is definitely a distraction. Distractions are all around us. Anything that diverts your attention or takes your eyes off the road can compromise the safety of your vehicle. Phones, computers, paperwork, GPS, and even lunch can be a problem, but it doesn't have to be. Again, you decide. But it's not just you. Other drivers aren't paying attention. You see that every day. But the more aware you are of what you're doing, the more you can be aware of what other potential dangers are happening around you. Yes, today's driving environment is challenging. It can be frustrating, but there's no way around it. Distractions aren't going to just disappear. But you don't have to let distractions compromise your safety. You can stay focused. You can drive safely. You can avoid collisions. Control distractions or let distractions control you. It's your choice. Make the safe one.